crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
The penetrator. Come on, look, because I always went the farthest into the target, goddammit. Libya, Tunisia, Lebanon. It was me, pal. I was always first in, last out.
This thing doesn't want to show itself. It wants to hide inside an imitation. It'll fight if it has to. But it's vulnerable out in the open.
Its blood was on the leaves.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
I try to get to everybody each and every morning, and I just feel like I'm running out of time. I'm like, try and get everybody. Good morning. Good morning. If I miss you or you didn't hear your name called out, what is up, Whitechapel? Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are having a great one. It is Thursday, and we are thirsty because, my God, the cancel culture army is out, and they are trying to take out anybody that speaks up about anything. And you know what? I might piss off both sides this morning because I'm going to give y'all a little technical, my technical thoughts on Hogwarts Legacy. And I'll just tell you straight out, it's going to get like an 8.5 for me. And there's going to be people that are like, holy shit, why? And it's because there's little things. There's little things that I think they should have taken another couple of months to iron out and fix. Walking up to doors on PS5 and PC, there are problems. You walk up to a door, you see a little spinning. You see that little spinning deal. No spoilers. No spoilers. I promise. I'm not going to ruin anything. We're talking technical issues. I'm not going to get into the story of the game. I'm not going to talk about that. It's there are little problems. Like when you dive into water, you get out and you're completely dry. Games have had wet characters. Oh my, wet characters for decades now, where you get out of water and you look wet. Their clothes are wet, their hair's wet. It needs to be optimized. Thank you, Jeff Pearson II. There's some optimization that it needs. Moist. Thank you, Andrew 46 and 2, Project Cambrian. Moist. So I think it needed a little more work. It's not Bethesda glitchy. No, it's not Bethesda glitchy. I haven't run anything that's game breaking, anything that won't let me complete a quest, anything like that. But I've spent almost 20 hours in the game. And there's just little things that, damp, moist, whatever you want to call it. There's little things in the game that I'm going to be a little nitpicky about. Okay. People are saying this is going to be the game of the year. This is going to be the best game ever, the bestest game ever. And it's got some issues. Okay. So I'm sorry. That's back Jack. I played it on PS5. It looks better on PC. It does, but I'm running everything on Ultra. So, and I did some testing. on PC. I changed some settings just to see, and it's true, Arwen. Maybe they have waterproof hair, waterproof clothing. The hair doesn't get wet. The hair physics are not as advanced as I think it should be. But overall, I think it's a pretty damn good game. I'm liking it. I like the fact that you can be a mouthy little Slytherin. I'm just going to say, you can be a mouthy little shit. I made a Gryffindor cry. Yay! I made a Gryffindor cry. My whole experience was complete as soon as I got to be a Slytherin and make a Gryffindor cry. I believe my exact words were, there's no easy way to say this. Well, wait, there is. This just isn't your bag, baby. And they ran away crying. So who is canceling culture? No one's canceling culture, Casino. But the cancel culture people would have you believe otherwise. So I want to get into J.K. Rowling really quick. I want to talk about why this game was being looked at and said we're gonna get rid of this game. How dare you buy this game? And it's absolute nonsense. It's absolute freaking nonsense. So for those of you who don't know, back in 2020, J.K. Put out some tweets and said some things, and I'm going to quote her here. People who menstruate. I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Woman. And there was backlash immediately. There was a whole bunch of backlash. Absolute insanity. She said, if sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. It isn't hate, to speak the truth. The idea that women like me, who've been empathetic to trans people for decades, feeling kinship because they're vulnerable in the same way as a woman, i.e. to male violence, hate trans people because they think sex is real and has lived consequences, is nonsense. I respect every trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. I'd march with you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it is hateful to say so. Now, guys, I need your input here. Is there anything wrong with that statement? In a non-clown universe, in a non-clown world, is there anything wrong with that statement? Women violence is just as bad and on the rise. Oh, yes, Chris Fisk. If you look at women on women violence, especially in relationships like that, oh, yes, it is. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. No, nothing at all. Keely Chow, boom, no. Moods of Madness, nothing at all. Yes, and I blame Mexican Iron Man. Of course you do, Sean. You blame Mexican Iron Man for everything. And if you're out there listening to Mexican Iron Man, good morning. I hope it wasn't too painful to jump out of a window and get your day started this morning. Oh, I would totally be a Slytherin, even though I've never actually played a video game except the Wii. There's nothing wrong with that. JK could come out draped from head to toe in the trans flag waving the LGBT plus banner, and they would still call her the Voldemort of trans. Thou who shall not be named. And they actually call her that. And it's the game that shall not be named. This game has more, it has more LGBTQ plus representation in it than 99% of the games out there. There is a trans bartender. There is a lesbian couple in it. I haven't gotten to the point to see if there is anything else in it, but it's got two things right there. There's a woman that is looking for something out there that you meet that mentions having a wife. There is a trans bartender who talks like this. And you're like, okay, whatever. And they still want to cancel this game. This game was not made by J.K. Rowling. This game was not written by J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling had almost nothing to do with this game. And yet they're going to cancel this game because they hate the fact that it's from the wizarding world. And this and she is still getting paid. She is still getting paid for this IP. They want to take this IP away from her. It's that simple. They do not want her to profit or have anything to do with this IP. Arwen Avalon says, I'm a Gryffindor, even though I've been teased about it. Nothing wrong with being a Gryffindor. Nothing wrong with being a Hufflepuff. Nothing wrong with being a Ravenclaw. There's nothing wrong with being a Slytherin. So I like to be a little shit, a mischievous little shit. And there's plenty of times in the game where I'm perfectly fine with people. And then there's some times that I'm like, you know what? You want to be a mouthy, arrogant little shit? I'll treat you like I'm going to treat anyone who's a mouthy, arrogant little shit. Keely Chow with a 6-month membership, who's a warrior of Asgard, says if it wasn't for J.K. Rowling, there would be no Harry Potter. And they seem to forget that. When they go on these cancel crusades, they seem to forget that this wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. Well, oh my God, we've got to take it back. It was never yours to begin with. She wrote it. It's her property. It's her IP. Whether she borrowed things from other things or not, whether she used folktale to help write these books, whatever it is, it's her IP. She made it. It's as simple as that. And the game had almost zero to do with the woman. J.K. Rowling had almost nothing to do with this game. It's her IP. Portkey Games to help make the game. They're the ones behind this. It's not JK. They just used her ideas and her setting and Hogwarts and all of that. Slytherin checking in. Hell yeah. Author Stephen Walton. What's up, brother? More Slytherins. We always need more Slytherins. That's right. So what's wrong here? Why would they go after a game that has all their representation covered in it? Why? Why would they do that? Shum, it's obviously she was heavily influenced by Arthurian legend. Yes, that's why there's a Merlin in the universe. June Wong with $5 super chat. I've experienced firsthand real transphobic hate in the old country. These immature children against JK have no idea what real transphobia is. Right there, that simple. And I'm gonna read some responses. People have just become batshit crazy over it. They need to take up knitting or something to direct all that excess energy. They have to scream. They have to wail. Oh my God, we're so oppressed. We're oppressed. We're those special little snowflakes that are repressed. Listen to this. So let me get to the responses here. She made another quote. So I want to read more. The idea that women like me, who've been empathetic to trans people for decades, feeling kinship because they're vulnerable in the same way as women, i.e. to male violence, hate trans people because they think sex is real and have lived consequences is a nonsense. I respect every trans person's right to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. I'd march with you. I read that. I've never felt as shouted down, ignored, and targeted as a lesbian within our supposed GLBT community as I have over the past couple of years. So this is from Andrew James Carter. Since J.K. Rowling has blocked any reply to this litany of half-truths and transphobic dog whistles of the right, I thought I'd catalog them properly here. There's just no evidence to me. This is from Paris Lees. There's just no evidence to me that being me is causing problems for any of the other women I've met. If there are ever any problems between women and trans women, they should be dealt with sensitively and sensibly on a case-by-case basis. Harry Potter is about the magic of love, acceptance, belonging, the power of courage. The impact of hope trying to take those things away from people is terrible. Trans women are women. Do not read J.K. Rowling's transphobic manifesto. Every line is misinformation, fear-mongering, misgendering, othering, ignorance, far-right language. She's a leftist, ladies and gentlemen. She is a renowned leftist. They have no idea. Othering, ignorance, far-right language, dog whistles, and pure hate. That's pure hate. It's not just ugly. This is hate. All in capital letters. Hate. So, Radcliffe, Harry Potter himself, Daniel Radcliffe, says, I realize that certain press outlets will probably want to paint this as infighting between J.K. Rowling and myself, but that is really not what this is about, nor is it what's important right now. While Joe is unquestionably responsible for the course my life has taken as someone who's been honored to work with and continues to contribute to the Trevor Project for the last decade, and just as a human being, I feel compelled to say something at this moment. Transgender women are women. Any statement to the contrary erases the identity and dignity of transgender people and goes against all advice given by professional healthcare associates who have far more experience on the subject matter than either Joe or I. According to the Trevor Project, 78% of transgender and non-binary youth reported being the subject of discrimination due to their gender identity. It's clear that we need to do more to support transgender and non-binary people, not invalidate their identities and not cause further harm. To all the people who now feel that their experience of the books has been tarnished or diminished, I am deeply sorry. He's apologizing for her, for the pain these comments have caused you. Not may have caused you, have caused you. I really hope that you don't entirely lose what was valuable in these stories. And in my opinion, nobody can touch that. It means to you what it means to you, and I hope that these comments will not taint you. Watson, who played Hermione Granger, also spoke out in support of the community. Trans people are who they say they are and deserve to live their lives without being constantly questioned or told they aren't who they say they are. I want my trans followers to know that I and so many other people around the world see you, respect you, and love you for who you are. She wrote in a series of tweets, I donate to mermaids and Mama Cash. If you can, perhaps you'll feel inclined to do the same. Happy Pride 2020, sending love, X. Andrew, 46 and 2, who's been a member for 20 months and is a warrior of Midgard, says one word, sports. Right there. Mark, what's up? Mark the Infinitely Tired has joined us and said, I've watched two friends, one of them my best friend, who have had a good time playing it. Why all the bullshit from the alt crowd? Would a trans character play a fucking trans character? I'm done. Right there. Right there. Well, they've got a trans character and a married lesbian in this game. So there's absolutely no reason. They've got their representation in this game. Why are they bitching? Why are they throwing a fit? Why are they trying to cancel them? I remember day one, they were like, "Oh my God, the alt-right's gonna shit a brick when they see that there's the bartender who talks like this." Okay, so fucking what? I don't care. I'm playing a video game. You're the ones who didn't want this game to come out. You're the ones who said everyone must boycott it. We're making lists. These people made lists, ladies and gentlemen. They made lists wanting to cancel people that stream the game. They wanted to make lists of people. There's a website dedicated to tracking down streamers that streamed the game that shall not be named. So there's a list of names out there for people that played this game online and streamed it, so they can put them on a list. We're back to lists. You know who else made lists of people that they wanted to get rid of? Yeah, we all know who else made lists of people that they wanted to get. That website got shut down. Good. Is that? Yeah, that's for real. Hell yeah, that's for real. I think it was Arwen who posted up the link to that. It was like, check this shit out. They were making lists. They were making lists of people that were streaming out the damn game. Adega says, I would join you this morning, Loki, but my son is sleeping. Dude, you're all good. You're always welcome. Whenever you want to come on, Adega, you have an open door. Loki missed a skull, by the way. Did I really? Oh, no, I got June 1. Was there another one? Keely Chow? I don't think so. Was it at the very beginning? I don't know. I'll have to go back and check. June Wong. I got June Wong's. Stop me in my tracks, Kronos. You stopped me in my tracks, brother. I'm scrolling all the way back to the beginning. I don't see it. I'm all the way back at the beginning. I didn't see it. Huh. When Keely said, good morning, everybody. I don't know. Did I? I know there is some the member stuff. I got Keely's. I got Andrews. Chris Fisk. Representation. So Chris Fisk, he's been a member for 2 months and is Warrior Bad Guard. Representation. The only people that need that in their entertainment media are narcissists. Wally was an animated trash can, and we could identify with it. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. No, I absolutely agree. And thank you guys so much for your member chats, for your memberships, for your super chats. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla, and this one is just for you. We're going to throw you guys $1 this morning. Score!
$1? I've never seen $1. Nobody's got $1. Let us see $1. There it is. It's beautiful. Take your hat off, boy. That's $1 bill.
That's $1 bill, boy. Magitech Mags, who's been a member for 9 months and is a member of Loki's army, says selfish people project so much. They show who they really are. Confession through projection. The selfish want to ruin everything and make everyone as miserable and as insufferable as they are. Fuck them. See, here's the deal. That isn't just in that corner of LGBTQ plus. That right there, what Mags just said, that's everywhere. That's in every group. Someone's going to be, well, you know what? People just have to be as miserable as I am. How dare you have a good time while I'm miserable? I'm got to bring you down to my level and make you miserable with me. Fuck that. And you are so right, Max. It's just selfish. It's selfish people. It's selfish people. And when they do their little confession bit, when they get on their little pulpit and they start talking about how woe is me and poor me, or oh my God, this isn't turning out the way I wanted, or oh my God, I don't have enough attention on my YouTube channel, or oh my God, I've got to do this. It always shows out. Misery loves company. And they must be in a really good company. Right there. Absolutely. Do y'all remember at the end of the 1930s, early 40s, another group of people that made lists? Yes, absolutely. Mary Ellen Newworth. I do. I remember that. And because certain things are being erased from history, because they're not acknowledging that certain things actually happened, because they go, how do you know that happened? Did you actually live then? Well, then it didn't happen. If you didn't experience it, if you didn't witness it, it didn't happen. That's insanity. That's fucking insanity. And that's what they're being taught. That's what they're being told. That's the message they're getting. If you didn't experience it, it never happened. Dega Outlaw with a $4.99 super chat. Is it theft? They steal identity of genders, IPs, and even the right to speak all out of hate for self or the other. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat, Dega. And thank you, Magitech Mags, for your 9-month membership. You guys keep the fires burning bright. We're going to go a little old school today. I bet you guys thought I got rid of this. We're going to burn down the fucking village. Skull! And this right here, F that ish. I'm done with selfish people. It's always me, 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 me. I hit that realization, Mags, about a little over a year ago. I hit that realization. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I've been so much better off since I did. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not doing it. And things have been so much better. After watching a certain blonde woman bitch and moan about Star Wars and said we should basically fall in line with what she thinks is correct, I'm done with Star Wars. It's never going to change. These things are not going to change. And when they do, because these people are losing money with all this shit, it's the hot thing to do right now. I'm telling you, it is a fad. This is the hot thing to do right now. Eventually, people are going to get over that fad and normalcy is going to return. And you're going to have a million little snowflakes running around going, why aren't we getting attention anymore? Because you see, as long as they remind people that they're little snowflakes that have been stepped on, they're just going to keep rehashing this and keep getting this attention. And that's what they feed off of. That's what drama queens feed off of. Drama queens. That's what they do. That's what happens. That's how it works. Star Wars is a conquered property. It's dead. Make new IPs and cherish them instead. I'm not going to get into the finances of Disney this morning, but when they start firing thousands and thousands of employees, and when they start talking about leasing out their IPs, because all they want to focus on is Star Wars, Marvel, and the mainline properties that they have, and everything else they just want to, okay, we'll lease it out. That's what Marvel did in the comic book era when it lost the rights to a bunch of its characters and could not get them back, is because they leased out the rights to all these characters with contracts like with Sony and with Spider-Man that said, as long as you keep making movies, as long as you keep producing these movies every couple of years, you won't lose the rights. And they've still got it. So billions of dollars lost. That's a hard B right there. Do you think that this latest Harry Potter game is as good as it is that they say it is? Should it be worthy of all these sales? I think it's a great game. I loved getting my broom and flying on my broom. There's just little nitpicking things that I think that they could have worked out and finished. I don't think it was completely finished. I think the polish that the game needed probably would have taken a couple of more months. And it was like, nope, we're coming out with it now. It's a hot property. Everybody's pre-ordering. If we delay, there's going to be cancellations and yada. And they just came out with the game. Life rarely, if ever, works out to plan. You have to make new plans all the time and keep on keeping on. Right there, Dave Bob. People's circle of right bubble that they live in is getting narrower and narrower. Look at the recent what was it, the Grammys? Flagrant in your face fuck yous. We don't care about you. We're gonna go out and we're gonna do this and we're gonna act like this and we're gonna promote this and we don't give a shit. Things are changing, and the more they change, the more this shit's gonna get pushed. Because these people are gonna be screaming for attention. They're gonna lose the attention they've gotten, and they're going to be screaming for attention. Jedi Fallen Order Survivor is the only game I'm waiting for. It's going to be a bear year. It is. It's going to be a bear year this year for gaming. There's not a lot coming out. I'm going to play Resident Evil 4. I played Dead Space. I think Dead Space is a wonderful remake of a game that so many people loved. The changes are very minimum. You get more talking with Isaac, a little bit more of the story fleshed out. I think Dead Space was great. I want to play Resident Evil 4. So there's going to be games I'm going to play, games I'm going to talk about here and there. But I'm not a gaming channel. I don't want to be a gaming channel. I want to talk about how games affect culture. And one of the things that's going on right now, obviously, is this game being canceled because its association with a person. Imagine that. How many actors have we seen? How many actors and actresses have we seen canceled because they dared not say anything, or they dared say anything in opposition of the status quo? Hogwarts Legacy is a beautiful game. The fans of Harry Potter are enjoying and having fun. Why ruin it for the multitudes when a small group wants change? And they got representation in the game, Mark. They got 2 forms of representation so far. I played almost 20 hours. If you count the time I played on PS5 and you count the time I played on PC, you've got 2 forms of representation. So, and there are some weird things about this game. The code, apparently, for the Steam version of the game is different than the code for the Epic Store version of the game. Do you have a PC that can play this? I saw a couple of people comment on Twitter. I had to get a better video card. I had to do this. There are requirements in this game. You need an SSD. Otherwise, it's going to be choppy. I'm just going to tell you that right now. If you have a standard hard drive, guess what? You're going to have problems. You need an SSD. I have one of the fastest SSDs on the planet. That's a solid state drive. And guess what? I still have loading times when I walk up to a door. I'll walk up to the door and I'll get the little spinny symbol, and it sits there for a second before I go through a door. Okay, you need 32 gigabytes of good gaming RAM to run this with everything on Ultra. I've got an RTX 3090, which is one of the best video cards in the world. I've got it all running on Ultra. I've got it all maxed out. I moved the settings down some to see if that would fix the loading issues when I walk up to a door, because I don't like that. I want to just walk through the damn door. I don't want to see a damn little loading spinner on the door, even though the game's not hanging, the game's not stuttering, the door's not opening right away. Still doesn't. Sounds like bad code. Yes, I think they needed, and a good CPU. I've got a Coffee Lake, what is it, 11 or something? It's like a 32 core kick-ass. It kicks ass and takes names, Chronos. So why do I have this little loading thing? Why do I have this little loading thing on the doors when I run up to the doors? PS5 has the same issue. So why? Oh, just a second or two, Shum. Just a second. And it's especially prevalent if I'm like running through Hogwarts. So if I'm running through Hogwarts going from door to door to door, that's when this happens most of the time. I can fly around the whole map on my broom and it's fine. I don't get any pop-ins. I don't get any problems like that. I can fly around on the broom just fine and make my way from one side of the map to the other, and it's fine. It's just in Hogwarts. So it's little things like that. The water on the clothing. There is no water on the clothing. Your hair doesn't get wet. These are little things that you get in like The Witcher, and Witcher's an older game. These are little things you get in games like that I'm like, okay, why are, and Arwen brought it up earlier, magic. Maybe your robes are magic. You got an auto dryer on, whatever. Okay. You can look at it however you want to. That's fine. I don't have any problem with that. How is sitting on a broom like that non-painful? It has a seat, Mr. Tickle Trunk. There's a seat. You actually have a seat that you sit on. Moist issues. Yes, Kronos. Is there anything I have seen in this game that says that the LGBTQ plus community shouldn't be playing it? No, nothing. In fact, it's like I said before, it has more representation in it than 99% of other games. So why? Because they're not getting their way. They didn't make her take a knee. And at the end of the day, that's what they want. They want JK to come out and say, I'm sorry, just like they did with someone else we know. Just like they did with someone else we know. And I'm so glad they killed off Cara Dune and didn't replace her with some activist up her own ass bullshit. They just killed the character off, which is not what the activists wanted. They wanted a trans actress to play Cara Dune. Sorry, but the character's dead. And aren't all the player characters referred to as them? So there's that. Yeah, there is no he did this or she did this. It's them. And I heard bitching about that online. What, they couldn't afford to pay the actors to say he or she? No, because they all want to. Okay, so here's the deal. Get a load of this. I saw this the other day. Okay, so imagine you make a boy. Imagine you make a dude that's a fifth-year student. Okay, you can put him in the female dormitories. So you just say, oh, he identifies as a witch instead of a wizard. You can make a female character with a male voice and make her and put her in the boys' dormitory. These are all things that is right up their alley and what they want. These are all things that are right up their alley and what they want. And they're still bitching and moaning and crying because JK hasn't taken a knee and said she's wrong, you're right. This whole fucking participation trophy shit. They have to be right. And to hell with anyone that argues anything against them. If you speak out in any way, shape, or form against what they say, you're an Ister, an Ob, you're a Yahtzee, and there's nothing you can do to combat that because they will use that to cancel you. They immediately called her a far right crazy, and there's nothing that she can do to drop that now unless she comes out and says she's sorry. You want to see Joy, watch Mary, watch Steven, watch Prince Zhao. Zhao spent most of his stream perfecting his character's likeness. That is dedication, and that is happiness. Abso-freaking-lutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. If I had my phone, I'd send my character portrait. No, I spent at least an hour making my character once I got it on PC. I went through real quick on PS5 because I didn't have a lot of time, and that game I didn't buy it for me. That game I bought for somebody else. So I'm sure it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out who that is. Complainers never amount to anything and never contribute. It's all for attention. Mags, you are speaking my language this morning. That right there, I couldn't have said it better myself. I could not have said it better myself. It's all for attention. It's all for freaking attention. Look at me. Look at me. You aren't paying enough attention to me. Oh my God, this person dared disagree with the status quo. Off with her head. Look at me. Look at me. I am now injured and wounded because of this person's words. I just can't believe this. I honestly can't believe it. The game has more representation than I'm seeing in most video games. Jay Zhao spent about 2 hours building his character. Hell, I up Mary when she built both of her characters. So why? Why is this such a big deal? I really don't give a rip what they think or espouse. They can kiss my ass. That's right. I'm right there with you, Dave Bob. They can kiss my fat white ass. Ultimately, I blame Mexican Iron Man for all of these problems. Well, just for you, Shum, just for you, we're going to send Mikey out a window. Skull! And out the window he goes. Moons of Madness says, so it's a lose-lose for her to say anything. Yeah. No, absolutely. It's a lose-lose for her to do anything, say anything. She stuck her foot in her mouth when she made that statement. And you know what? She stood by that statement. Someone else we know stood by her statement. She got canceled too. She got canceled and ran off a show because they don't want anything to do with these people. Oh my God, you didn't kowtow and you didn't bend the knee. And then all that is weakness. It's a weakness to make this small crowd that has to be bigger than it is happy. At the end of the day, that's all it is. It's a small vocal minority that has to yell and scream and beg for attention because they believe that they own everything. Lady Mist, who's been a member for 2 years, has gifted a Loki's Mornings of Mischief membership. That membership went to Kronos. He says, thank you, Mist. Kronos has gotten a membership and is now a warrior of Asgard. Thank you so very much, Lady Mist. And congratulations, Kronos. Welcome to the Viking Horde, my friend. Skull! Okay, enough of JK. There's another topic I wanted to get to before we close out today. So Leonardo DiCaprio has apparently there's a cancel campaign going against him for something he didn't even do. So a story came out, and I love this because the wording here. Twitter explodes. This is from the Daily Mail. Twitter explodes with memes about Leonardo DiCaprio's 29-year age gap romance with Eden Poolani. He's not dating Eden Poolani. As users call out inappropriate pairings with the same age difference, from Stranger Things Hopper and Eleven to Joel and Ellie in The Last of Us. Leonardo DiCaprio is 48 years old. He is not dating 19-year-old Eden. This was all put out on January 31st. They're not even like good friends. It's just someone he knows. So it's like he's 48 years old. What the fuck do you care? What the fuck do these people care? These are the same people that are saying that underage pairings, it's okay as long as they give consent. Kiss my fucking ass. These are the same people that explode when a woman goes to jail because she sleeps with a 15-year-old. Oh my God, the injustice, the depravity of putting a woman in jail who slept with an underage minor. He gave his consent. There shouldn't be any of this going on. These are the same fucking people that bitch and moan when something like this happens, but they'll look at a guy with a legal guy with a legal female and they'll go nuts. They'll go absolutely freaking nuts People have been trying to cancel Leo for 20 years, June Wong. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Spare me the pearl clutching about Leo from the crowd who thinks that a 4-year-old can choose their gender. Right there. Right there. Right there. What does it fucking matter? What does it matter? Why spend all this time and dedicate all your time to a story? It's not even true story. Because, oh my God, the outrage. You know what I feel like we're living in? I feel like we're living in what was the season where we had all the religion in Game of Thrones and that bitch took Cersei down the road and she's like, shame, ding, 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 ding. And they're like parading Cersei naked. It was the Sparrow. Okay. So it was the season with the Sparrow. They're dragging Cersei through the street. And that bitch has got that bell naked. She's got Cersei. She's dragging Cersei and through the street naked. And she's got that bell. Shame, ding, 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 ding. Shame, ding, 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 ding. Meanwhile, these people are doing these fucking satanic rituals at the Grammys. They're coming on half fucking naked. They're doing all this shit. They're worshiping fucking Satan. But they're going to take a legal guy and a legal woman and shame them because they don't like the fact that there's an age gap. Literally every man on earth wants to be Leo. Filthy rich, always a hot young thing with him, no alimony, no child support. I could go on, but I just slipped on my drool. Loki, can't recall the name of the show, but those are the same degenerates that wrote dialogue for a show that said 10 is the new 16. Fuck these people. Fuck these degenerate fucking people. May December pairings have been going on forever. Why the crap for it now? Because it doesn't align with their way of thinking. This whole thing is the new fad. This is the new religion. This is the new way everyone says it has to be. And it's going to change. It's going to change and we're going to get something else. And it's just going to be, it's going to be even more insane and even more disastrous than this. This is Western society in a nutshell now. People have sat on their ass for too fucking long and have nothing to do besides bitch about who Leonardo DiCaprio's dating. People used to like drama. People used to like stories like this. People used to go, oh my God, how sweet. Da 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 da. If they're adults, who cares? Arwen Avalon. As long as he isn't breaking any laws, who gives a shit who Leo dates? None of my business. And it goes the same thing with the LGBT community. As long as you're not breaking any laws, I don't give a fuck who you're dating. I don't give a shit who you're sleeping with. I don't give a shit whether you cut your tallywhacker off and do a tuck-in. I don't give a shit what you do in your personal life. But my God, you're not going to tell me how I have to talk. You're not going to tell me what pronouns I have to use. You're not going to tell me how I have to be. Period. End of discussion. If I want to use a fucking pronoun, that is my choice. That is my responsibility. That's I choose to do that. If I don't, you can kiss my fat white ass. I don't have to. No one's stopping you from cutting your fucking balls off and being a chick. Not one person out there stopping you from doing that. Nobody is stopping you from doing that. So why in the hell are you trying to impose your will on everyone else? Yes, I have a fat white ass. Why? I actually don't, because I have a minimal glute. I'm like Hank Hill, so I don't really have a butt. Yeah. Anyway. Who cares? You remember? Do you remember when it was, why can't you just accept us? Why can't you just accept us for who we are? Well, guess what? People do that now, but it's not good enough. It's not good enough. I remember another thing that, yeah, and Day Bob, you can cut your balls off, but you're still not a chick. That's that. If that's my belief, guess what? That's my belief. You can do whatever you want to try and change that belief, but you're not going to cancel me, and you're not going to fucking put me out of a job, and you're not going to take food off my plate because I don't believe the bullshit you're throwing out there. It's that simple. Loki's butt identifies as a plank. Yes. If the adult people involved don't care about the age difference, then why should anybody else? Because they're freaking busybodies. And we live in a world of shame today. And that's what cancel culture centers around. That's what the companies that go in and fire people. Okay, let's say you're working in Hollywood. We're going to use Mark. We're going to use Mark. This is what we're going to do. That rare and incurable disease called nose tail. Oh my God. We're going to use Mark as our subject here. Okay. So let's say Mark is he goes to work, la 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 la. He's doing his thing, and a new employee starts, and they say, you have to refer to me as that butthead. Otherwise, I'm gonna get you fired. Better yet, let's say Mark's an actor. Mark's an actor on a show, and Mark comes out and says, I don't think men can menstruate. So what happens is we'll use Kronos in this too. Kronos works for a company that works for the film industry. Yes, this is a real thing. Kronos goes and investigates the comments that Mark made. Kronos goes back to his company and writes a report that is sent to the company that Mark works for, saying that the best thing you can do is acknowledge that what Mark said, the things that Mark said is wrong, and fire him. Don't say what Mark said, but say that after an investigation, certain inequities were found with the actor Mark, and we had to let him go. That is Hollywood and what's going on in a nutshell right now. This is what is going on. The studios, the industry, the movie industry, the Hollywood studios are using companies like the one Kronos works for. What did I do? You work for a company. And now you have confused Kronos, Loki. Yes, I see that, Lady Miss. But that's how it works. Wrong for Leo, but okay for MILF Mansion double standards much. Yes, that's why it's okay for a teacher, a female teacher who is in her 30s to sleep with a 15-year-old boy. And there are women going off on social media saying how wrong it is for her to be thrown in jail because he can obviously give his consent. It shouldn't matter. And she shouldn't be in jail. The problem is it doesn't matter if something isn't true. The accusation is enough to get someone canceled today. That's the point I'm trying to make. Okay? That is what happened to Cass Anbar over on The Expanse. Nothing was ever proven. Nothing ever came out to prove that he did anything. There were no factual text messages. Nothing came from his phone. But he was fired. He was fired because someone accused him of sleeping with them at a convention. We don't know who that person is. We don't know how old that person is. We have no idea about anything that actually happened besides rumors because the company that went in and investigated said the best thing you can do is just fire him and move on. It doesn't matter whether he did it or not. That was a rip for The Expanse, dude. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. He got Me Too'd. And now Me Too is dying, and they're trying to come up with something else. Me Too was a cash grab. It was a cash grab. That's what they did. Go over and watch Legal Mindset or half the other YouTubers that covered it. Me Too was a cash grab. They got a lot of money, and they spent it on themselves. They spent 70% of the donations, 70% of the money they got on their own salaries and going out to swanky restaurants with actors and actresses. Some of them, they were paying $10,000 a meeting. Okay. So let's say that you want to talk to an actress so you spend thousands of dollars taking them out to a fancy smancy restaurant for lunch. You also give them $10,000 for the hour they're going to spend with you talking about how they can help that actress file charges against anyone that has ever done anything to them ever in their lives. And you wonder why Amber Heard did what she did. You wonder why Amber Heard did what she did. Because she got paid. She got paid. Canadian Spider-Man, what is up? How are you doing, brother? So good to see you. She got paid. It's that simple. They spent 70% of the donations, millions of dollars, on themselves and on celebrities, taking them out to lunch and paying them for their time. $10,000 for an hour. Hollywood's so up itself, they fired a black writer from Star Trek because when discussing racism recounts his personal experience in the 50s, the white liberals were offended by his narration and fired him. That's a true story. That's a true story. He was talking about how he was treated and he was fired. Imagine what Benny from DS9 would think about that today. Do y'all remember Benny from DS9? Imagine what Benny would think of that. Motherfucker's up there telling his story about what happened to him. And this is what happened, and this is what happened. And the white liberal women were so offended by his narration that they went to HR and they got him fired. Benny the writer. Yes, DJ Ronnie G. Benny the writer. Imagine that. Imagine Benny the writer who created a story called Deep Space Nine. Brother Benny. Watching this go down in real life. Watching that go down in real life. Imagine that. We're going to cancel him because he told a story we didn't like. We're going to go to HR and they're going to get rid of him because he's a talented writer and he's competition for all of us. We're going to go and we're going to get him fired because he told a story about his personal experience and how he was treated in the 50s. Oh, thank you, Kronos. Yes, right there. Right there. That's how I feel too, Kronos. Right there. A bunch of those. Love the emojis. Love the Adega emoji, the Mexican Iron Man emoji, Loki emojis. Yes. Turd did lose, but she didn't too, because she got a lot of money. She got a lot of money. Where do you think all that money for that court case went? It wasn't just to her lawyers. It was to her too. She's not bankrupt. And she had enough money to put on the line for her retrial. She had enough money to say, no, I want to do this again. But in the end, decided, you know what, I'm just going to keep the money because she wasn't going to get any more money because she knew already that the Me Too stuff was ending. And she wasn't going to be able to get any more money from these people because all this crap was going. Where did the money for the hospital charity go? Into her pocket, Chris Bergeron. She never donated it. Johnny donated $1 million after the trial. And that was why it was held up. That's one of the reasons why it was held up, because he said, I'm not paying it to her. I am paying it to the charity. And she didn't like that. She wanted the money to be paid to her, and she wanted to make the donation. And he said, I'm not doing that again. We did this before, and the money never got there. That was his condition to let it go. That was his condition because he didn't want any money from her. She didn't have to pay all that money, all those millions of dollars she owed to him. He said, I make $1 million donation and you don't have to pay me any money. But the crux of it was that he wasn't going to pay her. He was going to pay the thing himself, and she didn't want that. She wanted the $1 million he was going to donate. And he said, no, that's not the way this is going to work. And finally, they agreed that he would make the donation and that she wouldn't get shit because she owed him, what was it, $17 million? Has control of the emojis. Lady Mist, I may have created a monster, Loki. Kronos has control over the emojis. At least he doesn't know how to get in the void, Lady Mist. So what does it come down to? These people are going to keep acting like this until you call them on their shit. And as long as everyone is kowtowing, bending down, taking the knee, kissing their ass, doing whatever they want them to do, no one's going to call it out. This is exactly what Harvey Weinstein did. As long as he could get away with it, he kept getting away with it. As long as there wasn't anyone brave enough to stand up and say, you know what? I'm not dealing with this shit anymore. He kept getting away with it. Everybody knew what was going on. Everybody knew how it worked. Everybody knew what the guy was doing. But no one wanted to acknowledge it because they were all on that Harvey Weinstein buffet. And as long as they were getting paid, as long as they kept getting awards, as long as they kept getting money, they didn't fucking care. That's what it's going to come down to. Someone said a couple of years ago, this entire movement is $1 trillion industry. The entire trans movement is $1 trillion industry. The government, the United States government, is spending billions of dollars to open centers in other countries. There was a trans rights center that they spent over $100 million on in Afghanistan. Do you really think that a center for trans rights in Afghanistan cost over $100 million? No. So as long as the money's moving, as long as the money's coming in, as long as people are making money off of this, as long as the attention's there, this shit's going to keep going on until it's not. Guys, we are past the hour. Thank you so very much for being here. Thank you so very much for hanging out with us this morning. You guys keep the fires of Valhalla burning bright. And this one's just for you guys. One last skull on the way out. Skull! And Mark, you explode whenever you want to. I'll have you up here. You come up here. Get your ass up here. You know, you guys are always welcome to come on here and speak your mind. You guys are always welcome to come on here and speak your mind. I'll have you up here any day of the week if you want to rant and explode. By all means, you're more than welcome to get up here and do it. Guys, take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak friend to enter. We'll see you guys on the next Mornings of Mischief. Have a great day, everybody. Skull and talk and roll.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.